We did it. We've teamed up, and together we've created something special. We are the Idaho Underground Sports Network, and we're changing the game. We're covering Idaho high school sports in a way that you haven't seen before. Together, we'll be providing weekly breakdowns and recaps while helping uncover Idaho's top talents at a deeper level. Trust us, you want to be part of this. Boise Sports Talk, EBC Media, and the Game Time Guru bring you Gym Session. Let's get to work. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome out to Gym Session. This is our first episode ever, and we are excited to be with you guys today alongside Ty from Boise Sports Talk, AJ from EBC Media, and myself. I am the Game Time Guru, Shane Larson. We are excited to bring you high school coverage here on the show. Again, it's called Gym Session. We're here changing the game, trying to provide you guys with something fun here in the Valley. Now, a lot of you guys out there have seen or heard of us in some form or fashion. You might have seen AJ with his EBC basketball coverage. You might have been seeing Ty with his Boise Sports Talk coverage all over Instagram. You might have maybe come across one of my podcasts that was, on social media, or you were just listening to a show. But we decided to team up, as you guys heard in the introduction, to join forces, if you will, and utilize our skill sets, our strengths, because we noticed something. We noticed there was a lack of coverage. Not that the coverage is terrible, but we had an opportunity. We noticed an opportunity here to provide coverage in a different way, a different angle, with the social media side of things, as well as providing a show here. And we feel like we have the resources to do so. So we're excited to be here with you guys. This is Gym Session. We're going to be breaking down games of the week, providing you guys with some stats, some recaps, analysis, talking about the hidden gems. We're going to have a segment on our show called Hidden Gems. And we're going to be talking about some of the best players here in the conference. And we're going to be talking about the games of the week going forward. And we have a special guest coming on the show as well, which we will introduce here in just a little bit. So a lot of stuff coming your way. All we ask is that you join us on Instagram right now at the Idaho Underground Sports Network. Go follow us on Instagram, because we're going to be at the games and we want to say hi to you guys. So make sure you come and join us, know where we're going to be, interact with us, because that's what we're here to do, is make that personal connection. So Ty, say what's up to the crew and let us know who you are and what you're excited about.
How we doing, everybody? Ty with Boise Sports Talk. Probably seen me on the gram. We're looking forward to bringing you guys, some groundbreaking coverage that, a little bit more relatable content. Get to know the players a little bit better, have some fun with them, and interact with the fans as well. So we're looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. I think this is something new that the Valley's needed for a really long time. So looking forward to working with you two and getting after it.
AJ, talk to us, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, he said it. We're here to have some fun. We're here to go a little bit more in depth, and just bring some entertainment to it as well. I mean, just like I said, try to keep it fun. We're going to keep everything clean and positive, and our goal is to just get these athletes out there and known, because it has not been done well. And that's why we've all been doing what we've been doing the last couple of years with high school basketball. We're expanding to football, which is extremely exciting. It's its own different world. So, yeah, let's get after it and have some fun and tune in. And these guys are great at what they do, and it's a pleasure to be working with them.
Man, I'm excited, fellas. I'm excited. So we're going to kick it off with the opening kickoff of the season, which was Rocky versus Highland, Holt Arena. First game in this arena in 2 years because of the pandemic. So there's a lot going on here. It was a great way to start the season, but it was like its own game. So there was a lot of highlight focus on this particular game. Rocky goes down there, ultimately ends up winning, but we're going to break this game down for you guys and hear from AJ and Ty a little bit more about it. But, it was exciting from my perspective, just watching it on NFHS. We were able to see there was some excitement with the fans back in the stadium. Again, it was a good atmosphere, good kickoff to the season. Exciting game, but there are some things that we can break down here. So I'm going to start with Ty. Let's talk about Rocky and Highland and give us some of your analysis here, man.
Absolutely. So one thing I think that stands out to everybody with watching the game, getting breakdowns, the defense from really both teams stood out. It took a little while for both offenses to get rolling. But ultimately, it was Rocky's defense that continued to make plays and held their own when it mattered most. Some guys that stood out to me, you got their defensive line and linebackers. Between Mason Jacobson, Caden Kelly, and Gage Tanner, they had a combined 27 tackles. to bust out like that in week one, averaging 9 tackles apiece amongst the three. Very impressive stuff. And that's some young guys too. Gage Tanner, that's a class of 23 guy. And at the end of the game, you got a guy like AJ Edwards coming in to make the big play and get the sack at the end of the game.
AJ, what are your thoughts on this one, man?
Man, I mean, well, Ty said it, right? Defense was the name of the game on this one, but I'm going to talk a little bit about what I saw from Rocky offensively. First thing I'm going to touch on is Rocky was missing. I thought they were going to go in, and we all talked about this. Part of me wanted to pick them to lose. New quarterback, kind of a bunch of seniors gone. They're going over to East Idaho. Highland's known to, be very scrappy and physical. I thought, it's a first game of the year, but it could have been like a trap game, very confident coming off the state championship win. But they go over there. They find a way that they're dominating. They're up 12-0. They hold Highland to 0 points in the first half. Very impressive. Hold them to 7 in the game. But they didn't even have, Landon Young, who is their nose guard, who has an offer from C of I, just moved back from SoCal, just got cleared 2 days ago. So he's going to be ready for Mountain View. He didn't play. He wasn't right in the middle of that defensive line. And he's a college football player. You've got C.J. Jacobson, who's getting offers from the likes of Notre Dame. He's a big-time wide receiver. He's one of the best in the state, if not the best. And then you've got Cade Thompson, who last year was an absolute animal on both sides of the ball. He was scoring touchdowns, and he was one of the best DBs in the conference. He's one of their fastest players. He's one of their best players. He didn't play. And so it was impressive to see Rocky pull that out. I looked at the stats and some clips of the game and was trying to figure out what they were trying to do offensively. I think they were trying to just kind of work Tegan Sweeney into it. The running backs caught a lot of balls. He was 18 for 25, I think, for 138 and a touchdown. That's very efficient. It's efficient. Those aren't mind-blowing numbers. But it looks like Art Williams, their running back, is going to be their workhorse. Levitt in the second half, I think he had 6 carries for 27 yards. That's 4.5 yards a carry. That's efficient. And so it's going to be interesting to see where they go moving forward. I'm looking forward to watching Mountain View tomorrow because from what I'm hearing about them as a potential number one, it's going to be interesting to see how much Rocky progresses offensively with this bye week into the following week, because at Highland offensively, they did not look good. It was sloppy. It was, it was efficient, but it wasn't explosive like maybe we're accustomed to seeing. They did have one explosive play with Mr. Stecker, the transfer from De La Salle, who I'm sure we'll touch on a little bit later, that 95-yard, quarterback keeper essentially. But Rocky offensively is still a question mark for me. Jacobson and Thompson, those guys coming back is going to be helpful. And then I think they want to get that tight end, Luke Hanchett, transfer from Colorado, from Denver. I'm hearing big things about him from his teammates. They want to get him a little bit more involved as well. So I think it's a work in progress, but defensively, like you said, Jacobson and Tanner, Clyde was all over the place. They got a ton of pieces. Landon Young's coming back. They're going to be a force on that side of the ball. I'll be surprised if they give up multiple touchdowns in too many games.
Right. And one thing that stood out to me here, I love the breakdown here. That's a very good point, AJ, about like all these guys that were missing, right? CJ Jacobson, especially when you're breaking in a brand new quarterback. Now, Tegan Sweeney's more than, capable of running this offense at a very high level, but it's the first game of the season. Again, it's at Holt Arena. It's a weird game, a lot of energy over there. There's just a lot of things that could go wrong. And so what they needed was exactly what they got, was an efficient kind of break you down little by little, just get the yards when they needed them. Now, in that game, I think anybody who watched the game, Rocky was controlling the ball, but they need to hold on to the ball. They had a lot of turnovers, a lot of sloppy plays when they didn't need. They were moving the ball when they needed to. A missed field goal at the end of the first half went right off the crossbar. Didn't help them there either. So when people are sitting there saying, "Oh, it's only 12-7," and Highland had an opportunity knocking at the door at the very end of the game, they're 5 yards out to score with 9 seconds left, and they took a sack on a third down. Yes, that's true. Credit to Highland. You cannot discredit Highland for, chipping away and fighting in it. But Rocky did control that game, in my opinion. Watching that, they controlled it. They were efficient, like you said, moved it. But now, if I'm them, I'm focusing on ball control. Do not give the ball back. Do not beat yourself, especially in a situation where it's a game like that where you're down guys that are in big-time guys. and a brand new quarterback trying to get his rhythm going. You can't do that. So I look forward to seeing their progression, though. The fact they actually got it out of victory, considering all those things, is pretty impressive to me. Rocky,
I think that speaks volumes to the young quarterback Sweeney. Truthfully, you touched on his efficiency: 72 completion percentage on the day, no interceptions, and did get the one touchdown as well to Art Williams. I think he was one of the biggest question marks for them coming in, and to go into Holt Arena, go into a hostile environment. You could hear the crowd there on big plays. I mean, coming through the audio on the stream, you could hear the crowd. And just going down to, Southern Idaho, you always get that it's a hostile environment, just a hostile crowd. Everyone's excited. Football's back. And this young quarterback went in there and took care of business. So I think it's a game he can build on. Obviously, things can get better. The offense can open up. But, without a guy like CJ Jacobson, that's kind of to be expected.
100%. You need your weapons around you. That's just any quarterback does. You need your weapons around you. And, he got the job done when he needed to. Credit Tegan Sweeney. Solid stud out of Rocky Mount. So they come in here 1-0. Like you said, AJ, they got a bye week, and then they play Mountain View next. So we're going to be talking about that here in just a little bit. Mountain View's upcoming game and stuff. We're going to see how this pans out. But that's why I'm so excited about this season, especially in the SIC. Let's talk about the expectations going into this year. I would love to start with AJ here. Tell us about the teams you are looking out for. I mean, we've got a lot of talent here in the SIC, a lot of exciting players, a lot of exciting talent. It could go either way with a lot of these squads. Rocky's kind of got the top level here. Everyone's kind of keeping their eye on them. Can they repeat? Can they not? What's going to happen? Who's going to knock them off? But tell us who you're excited to watch, man.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens at Eagle with the quarterback competition. I know that's a heated competition over there. Those guys have become good buddies, but that I'm really curious to see how that turns out. I think they've got similar, but at the same time different skill sets on what they're good at. I really want to see my guy Gage Jones, Donovan Jones, Ethan Makita, kids that I have actually coached in the past basketball. I want to see what they can do. I know Eagle they were right there last year. They're always kind of right there. We have them at 5th. That's going to be interesting to see if they end up that low. I think they potentially could end up as high as maybe 2 or 3, probably 3. I think 2, Rocky, Mountain View, but I think Eagle could be as high as 3. They've got the star power. I think they do a good job over there. They're always competitive. I'm really excited about Skyview actually. They've got some guys over there. I'm excited to see what they can do. They won't have the depth. But a guy that I'm really excited about is Antonio Fafita. He plays both ways. He's their best defensive player and their best offensive player. And he's not very well known, but what I'm hearing about him, it gets me excited to see Skyview. Dallas Kern is another guy that's an absolute just underrated monster out there. They're very physical. They carry themselves different than most of these other teams. In the SIC, they have a noticeable chip on their shoulder. They don't back down to anybody. I mean, look at Tyler Crow at Boise State right now. He's going to get some run this year as a walk-on from Skyview 2 years ago, running back. He's the same way. Just a bunch of dogs out there. It's going to be interesting to see what CUNA turns into without Sean Austin. They struggled with Sean Austin last year. I'm looking forward to seeing their wide receiver duo, Luke Celto and Luke Snar, see what they can do. I want to see Sean Austin's little brother, Gus Austin, at linebacker. I hear he can play. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to get to know all these guys. Cody Walk from Capital is a guy that I know Boise Sports Talk's been telling me all about, and he's excited about. But it's going to be fun. I want to see what Hawaii's about. I think we're going to start learning about a bunch of new kids from there. I know they're Carson Rasmussen, an incoming junior lineman for them, is getting Division I looks from what I'm hearing. They're going to be very good up front on both sides, and that'll keep you in games. They can find a way to score some points. I think Hawaii could potentially surprise some people, but player I'm most excited to watch is probably Taylor Markham from Timberline, and that's because of what Boise Sports Talk has been telling me about him. He could be the best running back in the league. I kind of want to see what he's got. I want to see Wade Zenner over there. See what Timberline can do. Those guys have been pretty vocal about how they think things are going to go for them, and they don't agree with where we put them, and I love that. Like, shut us up, show us what's up. But, yeah, man, so many different guys I could talk about. The linebackers at Meridian, Reynolds and William. so many guys I'm excited to see in action and just talk to you guys about.
I don't think there's anybody you didn't mention in that whole list. So that just goes to show how exciting this season's going to be. Like, this is literally going to be. Now, Ty, did he leave anybody open for you to talk about? Like, what are you excited for this season?
I think he touched on the right teams, kind of the middle of the pack teams that are going to either prove themselves contenders or pretenders, right? I think Skyview, you mentioned the depth, that will ultimately be an issue for them. But a guy like Max Cutforth that can, take over games with the weapons that he has in Fafita and defensive side with Curran. They got some guys. I want to see if Hawaii, if they can get going early. You mentioned their size and physicality up front, offensively and defensively. They have a great week 1 matchup against Centennial where they could, get their program started potentially with a win. Another team, Timberline, with the Montana State commit in Taylor Markham. I think he could be one of those. I don't know if anyone remembers Dylan Lukehart for Eagle, but one of those bruising running backs that will literally take over games. And, you can game plan against stopping the run, but when you got a physical back like that at this level, it makes it tough to stop. So I think Timberline is a team that, could prove us a little bit, prove us wrong in our rankings, but ultimately that's another team that, they've got some star power up front, but I don't think that they have the depth that some of the top tier teams in the league will have. One last team, you briefly mentioned Capital and Cody Walk. I think Max Clark is going to be big for them, his comeback from injury and what he can do leading the offense. Them and Eagle, Meridian, are those going to be teams that can knock off Mountain View and Rocky, or, are those two teams just established up there? But we're going to find out.
Man, I'm excited about it. And one of the things I was looking forward to is Hawaii for sure. We mentioned them a couple of times, but I get excited about new programs. See, when I was in high school, Mountain View had just been, built. So my sophomore year was the first year of Mountain View. So that was always fun to watch their program evolve. And, I wasn't here when Rocky first came out, but just kind of see how that school has evolved. Now, Hawaii's in that same position. They're a new school. I was talking to assistant coach Manny Chavez, and he was talking about, they're just trying to build a culture over there. And to me, that's exciting. They are young on their, we hear a lot about their basketball program. We're not hearing a ton about their football program because it's kind of the opposite, side of things, because their football program's really, really young and they don't know yet, but they do have some opportunity there. He did talk about the culture. They're trying to build that culture, talking about the history. They're trying to make everything like the 4 stripes on the jerseys represent their 4 pillars of their program: energy, toughness, attitude, family. That's what those represent. There's a lot of culture that they're trying to build, and they've got the hashtag make history, because literally everything they do is historic because it's their first season. So I'm kind of excited about those little storylines right there. And I kind of mentioned this before the broadcast. I got to give Mountain View a little bit of, I got to throw some shade there. They finally got turf. I think that's kind of like a funny storyline for me. You
have been excited about that,
dude. I don't know why I'm geeking out about it, but I'll just be real. Mountain View, when I first got into, when I got to Meridian and Mountain View was built, Meridian ended up getting turf later. I mean, not when I was in high school, but it was the year after I graduated. They got turf before Mountain View, and they always made fun of us over at Meridian. So I think it's funny because, like, finally they're coming around. Like, guys, it's 2021. But no, we're really excited to see Mountain View play with the turf. I'm excited to see what that field looks like. Just like there's something about turf compared to grass. I'm just going to say that as a player, as a fan, there's just something about the turf that makes it exciting for football. So I'm excited for those things. Now, on this show, I told you guys, we're going to be segmenting our way into what we call hidden gems. Now, if you're listening to the podcast and you're following us on Instagram, which, again, I will encourage you guys to go follow us on Instagram, you're going to hear us reference hidden gems. We're going to have merchandise that comes out throughout the season, too, as well. Hidden gems. This is where we're going to highlight some of our gems here in the state of Idaho. We want to highlight the players and have fun with the players. We want you guys to get the exposure that you deserve. So this is our segment of the show today called Hidden Gems. We're going to be talking about somebody to keep an eye on. We're going to highlight one player here today. I think this week we're going to be talking about Mr. Martinez over at Meridian High School. I'm going to start with Ty on this one. Give us what you know about Malachi and why we should be paying attention to this kid, because sometimes, certain schools get overlooked, but Malachi Martinez, he knows what he's doing.
He does. So I've had a chance to really get to know Malachi on a personal level this year. I've had the opportunity to cover Triple Threat Sports Academy and their 7-on-7 team as they've kind of started building up their program. But Malachi has been the face of that program and has led that team to national success, being one of the top-ranked 7-on-7 programs in the entire country. He's also earned praise from the entire Northwest, rated as one of the top quarterbacks in the entire Northwest. 24/7 Sports has him as one of the top 12 products coming out of the 2020 class this year. Right now, he's the third-rated quarterback in the entire state, behind Tiger from Rigby, and then Weezer's Brett Spencer has climbed the ranks here recently. But Malachi is a guy that has continued to get better. You've seen the arm strength develop. You've seen the maturity develop as well. He commands his offense and he trusts his receivers. And to me, as a receiver myself, it's hard to get a quarterback that trusts you to just put the ball up for you to make a play. And Malachi does an excellent job of that. And he's got some tall, lengthy receivers in Quentin Riley and Davis Sacker that are going to go up and get those 50-50 balls. So the sky's the limit for Malachi and the Meridian offense this year. For them, their biggest question mark for me is that offensive line. But Malachi's ability to lead an offense, to me, is unquestioned, and I think he's going to display that here in this 2021 season.
AJ, what you got from Malachi?
I mean, it comes down to this. The kid I hear is getting recruited by Eastern Washington University. And, some people, I've heard whispers, oh, he's not big enough. Let me tell you something about Eastern Washington University. A couple years back, they had a guy by the name of Vernon Adams who was there and set records and all that. He was 6 feet tall. He actually transferred to Oregon. I'm a big Oregon Duck fan. He transferred there, and he came in the year after Marcus Mariota took us to the national championship, and Mariota left a year early. Well, Vernon Adams came in at 6 feet from Eastern Washington and led us to a Pac-12 championship. We ended up going, I think, 10-3. We won the Rose Bowl. I mean, so Eastern Washington is one of the most efficient passing offenses every year in the entire country. If this kid's getting recruited by Eastern Washington, that is a huge compliment. That would be huge for any kid out here to have a kid locally go to Eastern Washington and play quarterback, in my opinion. So I'm excited to see what he can do. I know he likes the deep ball. He's got the weapons to do it, like BST said. The offensive line is a question mark for me. How much time is this kid going to have to display, that part of his game? We don't know. Is he going to be on the run? Are they going to roll him left, roll to the right? Whatever they need to do, they'll figure it out. Coach Zammerlin knows what he's doing. But Martinez, I know him from basketball, know the family. He's got a younger brother, Zeke, who may be the best incoming freshman football player in the Treasure Valley. He'll be coming up behind Malachi. So it's a football family. Dad's a coach, coach's kid. I'm excited to see him in action. I've seen him play once, and I wasn't extremely locked in on him. But this is very exciting, this game we've got this Friday, to see our first hidden gem in action against some top-tier competition. I'm excited. I think the kid's got the it factor for sure.
A couple things to touch base on with what both of you said. First off, Vernon Adams. If you're getting looks from a school where Vernon Adams played, let me tell you something about Vernon Adams. I'm sorry to bring up a bad game for you guys, but do you remember that TCU game? That TCU game, I think it was TCU, right, AJ, where Oregon was rolling and, Adams was, I think, either hurt or he was out, and then they lost their quarterback. It was a mess. It was just an absolute. It
was 31. It was in the bowl game. We were up 31-3.
Did he break his finger?
Yeah, broke his finger, took him out right before halftime, and we lost 34-31. So.
Yeah, let me tell you that. If you're a football fan, high school, college, whatever, that's where you invest in a center who can make a snap in the shotgun and a quarterback who actually can catch the ball out of the shotgun, because your quarterback, the backup, there was like 25 bobbled snaps out of that after Vernon Adams left. Anyways, that's how awesome Vernon Adams was, and that is why it's kind of cool to see like Malachi's name being in the same school where Adams went. There's a connection there. That's some high praise. Second thing is, I actually learned more about Malachi through Boise Sports Talk, surprisingly. See, like, I want everyone listening to know, like, I was a fan of Boise Sports Talk before I ever actually met Ty in person. I've been following his page for probably 2 years before I ever met Ty in person. And AJ, I'd following his page. Like, I was a fan first before I ever met these guys. But I found out about Malachi through Ty on Boise Sports Talk because he was covering him and different things. And then I got all my information on him from you. And so that was really cool. So just so you guys know who are listening, the people here on this show, they know who they're talking about, right? AJ and Ty know what they're talking about. And I hope to, get to that point where I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So they know, and they're here to bring the exposure. But I learned about Malachi through Ty, so I just want everybody to understand that because that was my first exposure to him. Looking forward to seeing him play this week. Getting into that game, though, this is our game of the week for the Idaho Underground Sports Network. Meridian versus Mountain View on the new turf. Okay, let's break it down for the audience, fellas. Analysis, breakdown, and players to watch. We're going to start with AJ. What are you excited about for this crosstown rival?
I'm excited to see Dawson Wall, actually the quarterback from Mountain View, in action. I know he's got some weapons. I want to see the big man Lucas Guzman go to work up there. That's a big boy up front. I know they're very good up front on both sides from what I'm hearing. But I think what I'm most looking forward to is watching Mountain View's defense. I think Mountain View is just loaded at every level. Braden Garrison may be Defensive Player of the Year in the SIC. I'm going to throw that out there. He's an absolute monster. He leads that defense, man. And then Meridian, I'm excited to see a bunch of these guys that I know. Davis Thacker, you hear a lot about him. Nathan Reynolds, Max William, those two big-time linebackers. My opinion is that Meridian also is not going to have a lot of depth this year, at least up front on both sides. I think they've got athletes. I think they've got star power. I think they've got, guys that can be elite. And I think those guys are going to need to play at an elite level to play with teams like Mountain View and Rocky. I love Meridian. I got, everybody knows that. I got family that works over there and whatnot. I don't think this is going to be extremely close. I think Mountain View at home, new turf, this defense, Meridian trying to figure out where they're at up front, offensively, defensively. I just think Mountain View is going to be ready. I think they're going to get this handled, and then, they're going to look forward to Rocky Mountain, who's next. So I'm like I said, I want to see Dawson Wall. He's a hooper. I know him from basketball. I know he took over later in the year last year and was successful. And I heard he drops dime. So I'm looking forward to seeing him and Garrison play. Guzman, I got a couple more guys I'm trying to think of. Oh, my goodness. Man, they've just got so many guys. Whipple in the secondary. There's so many guys I could talk about defensively that I just can't wait to see. I want to see what Meridian's going to be able to do with this offense and Martinez and these guys against a defense that is so highly rated. But, new year, anything can happen. Guys get better, guys change. Who knows what work ethics were like? Who knows who's been in the weight room? So, I like Mountain View in this game. I hope we see a good game. I'm a Meridian fan. I put that out there. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking forward to see what Meridian offensively is going to be able to do against this defense. And then I want to see those two linebackers for Meridian. Been waiting to see them for a while. I think that's going to be fun.
Oh, man. It's going to be a fun one. Ty, let's break it down, man. What are you excited to see?
Yeah, so I think if you look at this past game on Saturday with Highland and Rocky, low-scoring affair, defense took care of business, right? One big play kind of was the difference maker. I think to begin the season, Meridian might take a little bit of time to put it all together. They've all been working together, the receivers and Malachi, obviously, but getting the chemistry with the line and just getting everything figured out, I think it might take time to get their strong suit, which is their high-powered offense. I think it might take time for that to get going. And to go into Mountain View, which is always one of the loudest places to go play a game, paired with their new field, they're excited. Their physicality up front with their four tight ends deep, Fisher Clement, Mason Ashby, a couple to note from their tight end group, big dudes that are going to be, getting to that second level, getting to the linebackers and laying blocks for their dynamic running back, Quintez Evans, who could very well be one of the top backs in the state. He is, but statistically at season's end could be one of the best. I think that they're going to wear Meridian down early and often, and they're going to be the ones that pull out the victory at home in week 1.
Interesting. See, I think I'm in the same boat as everybody. My heart says Meridian. I'm a Meridian alum, but I think the same thing as I'm looking at these teams right now. It's week 1. It's hard for me to break it down too much because obviously we don't know. And in week 1, as we saw with Rocky, sometimes it can get sloppy. You're not used to the game speed, might not used to not be used to the atmosphere. Maybe it takes a quarter or two to calm down and slow the game down or a little bit. So anything can happen, right? But I do feel that Mountain View has that experience. They have the depth. They have the physicality. If they execute, they'll break them down. I think they start pulling away third, fourth quarter from Meridian, unfortunately. But I do look forward, like I said, to seeing Malachi Martinez. I want to see how he commands his offense, if he can be efficient and control the ball. I mean, the other team can't score if they don't have the ball. You know what I mean? So that's my whole theory there. If you can control the offense and just control the ball and be a leader that way, then anything can happen in the fourth quarter. So, but I'm also picking Mountain View in this one, but we're excited to be there. It's the game of the week for the Idaho Underground Sports Network. So you guys know, AJ and Ty, you're going to be there, right?
We'll be there, baby.
All right.
Come see us.
Yep. Come say what's up. Maybe get some free merch, have a good time.
What's up?
That's what we want. We want all the fans out here, the ones that are maybe the students or the parents or whoever, right? Like the game's going to be going on. We'll be trying to provide coverage of the game. But if you guys see us, tag us, right? If you see Ty and AJ this week at the game, I won't be there. I'll be out of town. But if you guys see them at the game, take a picture, tag them in Idaho Underground Sports on Instagram. Like, just have fun with it. That's what we're here to do. We're trying to build this community, build this coverage for everybody. It's more of a personalized feel to it. So say what's up to them when you guys see them at the game. We'll be at Mountain View covering that for the Idaho Underground Sports Network game of the week. Now, going into our final segment of the show today, this is going to be a super exciting opportunity for us all, guys. We're going to be bringing on a special guest to call out the picks for the week. This is a super fun opportunity for us because we have a very special individual. I'm going to introduce him right now. He actually plays football at Boise State, but he's from the SIC. You guys don't need to even have an introduction for this guy. His name is Mr. Austin Bolt. Absolute stud. So Austin, first off, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you, joining us and being part of the network and everything, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Dude, yeah, absolutely. We're excited for this one. Again, we're going to call this the lightning round with Austin Bolt. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove, if I can, I'm going to remove AJ. I'm going to remove Ty. And then I'm going to highlight you real quick, Austin. So you're front and center for all of us. And I'm going to go through the picks real quick for at least the games for the week, okay? And I'm going to ask you, and you don't have a very long time to think. I'm just going to say the team names, and you're going to have to make the pick, okay? So just real quick. It's kind of like a fire round. So are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
All right. Game of the week, Meridian versus Mountain View.
Mountain View.
Owyhee versus Centennial.
Centennial.
Skyview versus Columbia.
Skyview.
Cuna versus Lewiston.
Cuna.
Eagle versus BK.
Eagle.
Bora versus Timberline.
Bora all the way.
Boise versus Emmett.
Boise.
Bah, bah, bah. Y'all heard that one. Okay, so you've got Austin's picks in a lightning round with Austin Bolt. Now, I do want to ask this question. This was not planned, Austin. I do want to ask you something, though. When I interview sports figures, I like to get to know, especially those who are playing at the next level. You're at Boise State. A lot of people know who you are. A lot of the athletes do. But those who don't, even if they do, and those who don't, I want to ask you a question this week. What does it take to play at the next level? What does it take? I mean, obviously hard work, but what's a day in the life of Austin Bolt playing at Boise State University, film study, school, work in the gym? What's a day like for you? What does it take to play at the next level?
You got to actually truly love the sport. If you don't truly actually like what you're doing, especially with college athletics, you're not gonna make it, because at some point it takes up so much time and dedication to actually play college sports. So, if you don't actually truly love it and you're not actually dedicated to get better at it, it's just going to be a waste of your time, honestly. And you also gotta, you gotta love the grind, because, from last year to my last couple years, I went from my senior year of high school playing, I've been playing football, basketball, track, playing quarterback, safety, doing all that other stuff. And now, I get a select few reps, and you just gotta, just love the grind, because, everyone's gone through it in the program. So you just gotta know your time. And then when you get opportunity, you gotta take it too.
I have a question. You said college sports. Are you playing more than one college sport this year?
Right now it's a 50-50, I think. I don't know. It's definitely gotten talked to by the football coach, but by the basketball coaches. So I hope it happens. I'm trying to make it happen. I really, really want to get back on the hardwood. So we'll see.
Dope. Man, awesome. We appreciate you, man. Ty, did you have anything? Were you saying something?
No. One thing that I'll say, maybe it's just a sports thing, but you got to love the game and you got to love the grind. I think that's why we're all here, right? And thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to see you. Always is. We look forward to doing this with you more.
Yeah. Thank you guys. I'm excited.
You're the man. Awesome. Appreciate you, man. Take care. And we'll be wrapping up this segment or this episode of Gym Session with you guys right now. Again, I told you all, AJ and Ty will be there. I'll give the floor to them so they can give their send-off for you guys this week. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. But Ty, give us your final words as we part for the episode.
I don't know if this was on our schedule, but I'd like to make my game picks as well here. I think we should all go around here and do that.
Let's do it.
So we got Mountain View in the first one. I'm going to take a Waihe beating Centennial in their first game. Skyview got them taking care of business over Columbia. I have the out of town Lewiston CUNA matchup. I got that one going to Lewiston. Eagle faces off against BK, which is going to be a really unique game. Really, two of the top 10 teams in the state potentially. So that's going to come down to the wire, I think. But I have Eagle taking that one. Timberline over Bora, and I've got the Boise fans are going to continue to give me a hard time, but I have got the surprise underdog Emmett taking care of Boise this week. Their young quarterback, Caden Young, 3-star. Excuse me, not a young quarterback. Last name is Young. 3-star quarterback, one of the top 20 recruits in the state right now. I have him taking care of business over the Brave.
Ooh.
Okay.
Go ahead, AJ. You go. No, actually, you know what? Actually, hold on. I want AJ to finish this off because he has the better personality here. So, I'm going to make it say the best for last. Let me go through real quick, and then AJ gets to finish for us. I'm actually almost with Ty on all. It was interesting you said all those. I've got Mountain View over Meridian. My heart says Meridian, but I'm going with Mountain View. I think they're too talented. I'm taking a Waihe over Centennial. I'm actually looking forward to a Waihe playing. I'm seeing what they do. I know Centennial is going to be frustrated with that pick. Hopefully they prove us wrong, but I'm taking a Waihe over Centennial. Skyview over Columbia. I'm looking forward to seeing the individuals that AJ mentioned earlier. I'm taking Lewiston over CUNA. Lewiston is a very difficult place to play. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's a weird, difficult place to play. Lewiston is weird. Weird place to play. Eagle versus BK. I'm taking Eagle. I think Eagle's loaded with talent. I don't think they're going to come in slow. I think Eagle's ready to play. And like AJ was mentioning, we have them at 5, but I expect them to be better than that. They're going to prove their top 3 team, in my opinion. I got Timberline over Bora, but I've got Boise over Emmett. I'm taking Boise in this one. I'm not going with Emmett, but I got Boise. So Ty and I are pretty close on that one. AJ, take it away.
All right. Before I do mine, I want to give my man over at Rocky, who should have got a shout out and totally forgot to mention him. Daniel Juarez III had a big game as well. 6 tackles, couple assisted tackles. I want to give as many guys love as we possibly can. He definitely deserves it. That defense is stout. Cannot wait to see them in person against Mountain View. So here's my picks. I'm going Mountain View over Meridian. Talked about that a little bit. I'm going to go a Waihe over Centennial. Centennial has not been good for quite some time. I like what a Waihe looks like they got going over there. Real good up front on both sides like we talked about. I got a Waihe in that one. Skyview over Columbia. Excited to see what Kern and those guys can do. CUNA at Lewiston. I'm going with the SIC team. I agree with you. Lewiston is a crazy place to go. Play anything is difficult. I know they've got some serious football guys over there, but I'm going to go with CUNA. I'm going to go with the SIC team. And then Eagle BK, I think is going to be a good game. I think Eagle will outman them and win that game. BK can win that game, though. First game of the year, anything can happen, especially with 2 really good teams. BK, I think, is ranked number 1 in one poll, or 1 or 2 in one poll. So 4A is not far off. It's usually just depth at that point. In the first game, everything's going to be sloppy and new. Eagles got this quarterback competition. Who knows? Part of me wants to pick BK, but I'm going with my guys at Eagle for sure. Agree with you, Guru. I think they're going to end up being a top 3 team, I think, possibly by the end of the year. And then we got Bora Timberline. Shout out to the Bora baller, Aiden Bolt, little brother of Austin Bolt. That's my guy. I'm excited to hopefully get a chance to see him play this year. But Timberline, I think Markham's going to be too much. I think he's going to have a huge first game of the season against Bora and establish himself as, the early front runner for SIC Offensive Player of the Year. That's my prediction there. And then Emmett's going to, I think, dismantle Boise. Emmett was one of the best 4A teams in the state last year. They're going to be good this year. Boise loses Jack Payne. Boise fans can be upset about it, but with Jack Payne leaving, you got to go be about it first. I'm sorry. And Emmett's supposed to be loaded again. So those are my picks. I cannot wait. Week 1, as we get a flow for this, it's going to be more and more fun. But, dude, I can't even sleep at night. I'm so excited to go hang out with BST Friday night. And then after that game, just get the pouring in of statistics and score updates. I mean, I'm a fan too. So I'm excited. I'm excited too. It looks like I'm the odd man out with the Boise pick right there. But guys, make sure to go follow us on Instagram at Idaho Underground Sports. Go check it out. Follow us. Find us at the game. Like I said, AJ, Ty, we're not going to beat a dead horse, but we kind of are. Make sure to find them. They're going to be there at the game. Mountain View versus Meridian this week. Continue to follow us. Tag us when you see us. Get the exposure out there. Let's go. We appreciate you guys joining us for Gym Session, and we'll talk to you next week.